All right, so good morning. All right, so what have I got? Player indicator improvements are the next thing. So what I need to do, it's also, so the enter key opening the pause menu needs to be removed. So let's go do that first. So I think that's in the in-game screen. Okay, if start was pressed, first print is false, was pressed special, open pause is true. So we don't want enter to open the pause menu, we want escape to open the pause menu. So do we have a better thing than this for what we're doing? Well, let's just make a new function. And we'll boot up the editor and make sure it works. Pretty simple. As usual, just waiting on progress bars. That is my life. So the funny thing is, if you're in the editor, you can't open the fucking pause menu anymore because escape closes this thing. Oh, I don't like that. I do not like that. Well, let's add another thing here for if we are in the editor or not. Alright, so we're looking for in editor. And is system utils exposed to the UI? Let's take a look. Yeah, so it'll be system.is in editor. Alright, so that should set us up so enter works in the editor. G gameplay is not defined. Is it G game state? Alright, where the hell is G gameplay anyway? Okay, it is G gameplay. So we've got a compile error. Let's look at it. So 1349. Alright, so it works there. Excellent. Okay, so I got that one bug fixed. What is today? The 7th? So it's Wednesday. Alright, so the slash key should start us typing just like the T key does. It's going to be in our in-game widgets. So we're looking at so that'll be our forward slash. So let's take a look at it. Alright, that does it too. Excellent. Alright, so slash works. Okay, so for our player indicators, we want different sprites per team. And we also want emissive sprite and color per team. So we want an emissive layer on it. So color, red color, blue color. Let's change these names. Alright, so this will be red tint, red tiny, red tint, blue tint, neutral tint, and let's duplicate this and do red emissive, blue emissive, and neutral emissive. And we are going to want our flipbooks, right? Not flipbooks, but sprites. So we want a different sprite per team. So let's do blue sprite, and this will be a paper sprite reference. Alright, so we're going to set all these to white square, white sprite. Let me take a look. It's just white underscore sprite. Alright. Alright, so we're going to grab all of the paper sprite components and we are going to want to set each of these. So we'll do a for each. And what we're going to do is, based on the team, well, I guess we can't really set all this stuff up, can we? Set shader variables? I guess we should put it inside of set shader variables and not inside of here. And we're also going to need a, this will be in what? Our diffuse tint, and then we'll have our emissive tint. So let's set our emissive tints here. Okay, so we've got glow tint. Let's open up that material for the sprite. So we're going to need to add stuff to it. So this will be our, what, emissive UI sprite. So it's going to be unlit. But it's basically, we're going to have a glow strength. Alright, this will be diffuse tint. So let's change that sprite material to emissive UI sprite. This will be our diffuse tint. So basically, if this sprite is not equal, then we will get this sprite and call set sprite. Let's do this first. Well, shouldn't matter, should it? Alright, we have another scalar parameter which we're going to need to set, which will be emissive tint. And we're going to set that to emissive tint. Like so. So let's take a look at our other emissive stuff. That's going to be like our tricolor sprite. Additional textures number 1 versus additional textures number 0. And yeah, so we just have this sort of thing. Okay, so I think we're going to do an if here with the color. So basically, if this guy is greater than this, we will use this color. And what will the opacity be? I mean, we could just add the numbers together. Like, we could just add them. Just to hell with it. So if this is like bright white and this is something else, we'll just add the colors together and they'll be blur. The opacity is going to be based off of this guy. This is going to be like black to white, so it should be fine. So if we put this in here, yeah, we see the eyes coming out on those textures. So what we would want to do is put together a little bit of a thing for this. So translucent, emissive, UV spray, red emissive, blue emissive, and all that. So what I need is another sprite here for this guy, which is a 2x2 texture. So why don't we make a 2x2 texture here? And what we're going to do is we're going to checkerboard it. Be like that. And we're going to throw that in the import folder. Let's do white emissive. What is this guy? Default. Alright. So this guy we're going to do white emissive. So check out this guy. Save this. Alright, so what I am going to do here is go to this player indicator. The red tint I'm going to make white. Blue tint is going to be white. I believe the neutral tint is already... the neutral tint is green. Alright. I'll set that there. Alright, so the red emissive is going to be red, and then blue, and then let's give it a teal. Yeah. And I think, yeah, we've got this player sprite indicator here. Player indicator sprite. This player indicator looks like this. What I need to do is I need to grab, I guess he grabbed it from here. So I need to export this. Is there an export? Let me see if there's an export textured from Unreal. Asset action export. Alright, so let's throw that in the import folder. Let's throw it as just a BMP file. Is that actually going to support anything? Oh, we'll see. It exported just a plain white document. Alright, excellent. Let's see, asset actions, export. Let's try exporting as a TGA. Alright, so let's make another thing here, and this guy, let's just do this, and make them all black. I can't draw eyes, so I'm not even gonna fucking try. Why try when you can just get somebody else to do it, right? Just do it like that. And I don't think these are used for anything, so I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of them. Yeah, they're not used by anything. And this should not go in this folder. Like the player indicator and player indicator eyes should all be inside of the player indicator folder. So let's go move them. It's important to keep on top of this crap. In this player indicator sprite, we need to have the player indicator eyes there. So we'll get our emissive UI sprite as our default material. Alright. So supposedly we'll snag that from additional textures, multiply that all out and together, and we should see what we want to see. Of course we're using the white sprite, and that's what it looks like as our thing. So what I'll want to do is go to our player indicator, Our sprite material is set properly. Our red sprite. Alright, so we want player indicator sprite for all of them. So it's like upside down and all sorts of stuff. So why don't we change this so we actually have some values here that we can take a look at. So the texture that we should have for the, this is the wrong thing, wrong material. Didn't change that one. So this texture, we're going to use the player indicator texture, and this will be the player indicator eyes texture. So let's get an idea about what this would look like. So the emissive, let's just make this like super red. Alright, I guess I'm not multiplying by this channel. Yeah, there we go. And then we want glow strength needs to be actually up here. Good morning, Karakan. So, kind of what I want to do is I want to do a lerp, I believe. Herp, lerp, multiple. No, just linear interpolate. And the alpha is going to be, I think, this guy, and we're going to go between these two values. Is that going to be what we want? It's close. It's close to what we want. I'm just working on a few things. So we're using the alpha of this guy, but we're using the color of the other thing, is what it looks like. This glow strength should be 1, so like this should not be like this. So is this a 1 minus? Yeah, okay, that's looking better. That's what it should look like. So we can change our diffuse tint here to whatever we want. And then the eyes will do different things as well. So, excellent. Let's change this emissive tint to something like purple, kind of neutral. So it's looking pretty close to what we want it to look like. But of course, it's upside down. So let's turn this upside down. And I can't read any of that. Like, it's just not... Like, the emissive is fine. I think we also need a glow strength. So, diffuse glow and an emissive glow. So let's set that in our shader variables. Yeah, I'm just working on some cleanup and small tasks for the update at the end of the week. And it looks like we will actually make the update this weekend. So that is excellent. Because it didn't look like we were. Just basically, this will be our diffuse glow. What do we call it? Yeah, let's just do emissive glow and diffuse glow. Yeah, we might do the same thing we did last time, which is release on time instead of a day early. Because we always try for a day early because then you have extra time in your schedule. And that would only, that'd basically be because of the levels. It looks like we'll have the music, it looks like we'll have the level, everything else is done. It's really just going to be playing the level, but this level isn't... As far as I understand, it's not as... What is this pissed about? Yeah, those warnings can go away. Oh yeah, we need to snag these guys. The level that we got for Forest Night doesn't look like it's as rough as kind of the Forest Day was. And the Forest Day has been tweaked, and the getting the mix working seems like it's actually doing what we want. Okay, so for the player indicator, we've got this guy. Let's check out so we have our sprites, we have our glow. I think our red tint needs to be, how would we do this? Basically, kind of like a 50, like a 0.5? Or should it be like dark red, and then bright red eyes? Alright, so let's do like 0.2. And then the emissives we'll keep like that, neutral. Let's just put this at 0.2, 0.2, 0.2. So it'll be gray and then white for the eyes, otherwise. Well, you can see the red guys a lot better than the blue ones. Let's see. Do we have an opacity on this? Opacity is 0.75, so why don't we throw this up here? Let's put this at like 0.9. And the emissive glow, let's put it 4. Because I was seeing the red eyes, but I was not seeing those blue eyes. Well, it's also that we have a white background there, so it gets real washed out. If we're not on a white background, it looks better. Let's see how this looks. It's like it's always basically picking that minimum. Let's see, it looks like this math is probably wrong. So this guy is 5, and that's 8. I mean, this should clamp itself to this value, but alright, so it was 5 because this guy was 0.013? Okay, because the distance was so large. And then this guy turned into -4. Okay, so the issue here is that we're trying to invert it, so it's basically the scale will get smaller as it goes out. And this is turning it into a negative, so what's the value we want to do? It's basically the distance. Instead of dividing by the distance, we multiply by the distance. No, we just want to divide by the distance. Brain, where are you? It's so we want this thing smaller as it gets farther away, so we want like what, a max scale. So it's going to be max scale divided by distance, and we want distance divided by max distance. So that would go from 0 to 1, so it would get bigger. So distance divided by max distance . So we need to clamp this value between 0 and 1, then do 1 minus this value, and then we want to multiply that value. We're going to do, it's basically going to be min scale plus max scale minus min scale multiplied by this value. Math in blueprints gets kind of messy, but that's the formula for this. So it's basically like we start at min scale, which is 5, and then we add up to 3 extra based on how far it is away. And we invert that so it'll get larger as it gets closer. And we multiply by the base scale to scale everything else proper. And of course, because we're no longer doing a negative scale, this guy needs to be set proper, because we are actually using a negative scale. which was freaking it out. So let's see that get bigger as it comes across. Hooray, I scored from all the way over here. Bam. Get off of me, bud. Nobody likes you. Let's get out of here. This is the best. You just punch him off the platform. How he's pissed. It's like, how dare you? Bot bashing. Bots don't have souls. Okay, so what are the other requests for this guy? So it's different sprites per team and emissive sprite and color per team. Do we have different sprites per team? We do. But I don't think he's going to want different sprites per team. I think that's just an empty request. Alright. And let's change all this to customize. Okay, so I should throw everything in here. Sprite material, and we'll just give them all eyes. Alright, very good. So one of the things I don't think you've seen, Karakan, is the mouse for the controller. So we've got basically a thing that you can click on and do things with. You know, like that. The UI is a little bit finicky with some of it, mainly because we have a lot of small buttons like this guy. So, like when you actually run over a button, the cursor slows down a lot, so you can actually go hit it without too much trouble. And it uses, you know, how much, so I can like move the controller real slow, and then shoo. But it works. But I think it's a vast improvement over what we had before. And the controller will, the icon will disappear after a little while. So you can take your pretty screenshots without your stupid controller in the way. So that's cool, and ready to customize. Alright, so I think that's our sprites for our all that done. So the next thing is emotes. So right now with emotes, we got this real shitty system here that we use. And just like slap these things on there. So the question is,